Hi, this is Lucky Robin, and this is update 11 for the 2017 French Biointensive Organic Raised Bed Garden. I'm in Northwest Washington in Zone 7B. So I went through here and I dug down a little bit looking for the onions that weren't coming up, and I found that some of them had turned to mush, so I pulled those ones out, and then I found that there were a couple that had gotten down deeper. This is probably when the squirrel was digging things up and dirt was going everywhere, and they were just down a little too deep, so I pulled those up a little more, and they're starting to come up now. I also put in a bunch of garlic in the areas that I had to throw out the mushy ones. So there will be more red Weathersfield coming up. I can just barely see them starting, but a lot of garlic interspersed in here now. And the Cobra keeping onions are starting to do better. The ones on that side that weren't doing so good are finally starting to take off. So that's something. Over here, the Italian flatleaf parsley has really grown this week. Curly parsley's put on some growth, and the celery has put on a lot of growth, but you can really see it in some of these lettuces. We've had warm weather this last week. It's been really nice. And the bee balm is doing fantastically. Over here, I put some alyssum in amongst the flowers. That's the little white ones. And yeah, need to deadhead these. Everything's doing pretty good. I've had to get some extra water on these because yesterday I actually got up to 75, and most of the temps have been 65 lately, so it was a little hard on some of the plants. But you can see the columbine here is about to bloom. The hyssop looks like it was never transplanted at all. I've got this lettuce doing really well, and this is the stuff that self-seeded. I found two more that had self-seeded, and so that's this one, and we'll see if they'll make it or not. Okay, in there I planted a couple of orange pansies, and then that is an acorn squash. That's a hill of acorn squash. And then, let's see, that I believe is Gold Rush, and that is Patty Pan. And they're a little closer together than I'd like, but I think they'll come up and over the side a little bit, so it'll puff out. I would like to have at least 2 feet between each plant, ideally. It's kind of cheating here, but hopefully there'll be enough room. And then this is regular zucchini, and something's gotten onto this, so I don't know how well that's going to do. I might need to put some diatomaceous earth down around it. And then I planted some borage right in here between the bee balm and the sorrel. Now the other lilacs are done, but this set of lilacs is blooming now. And it's the most common lilac, but it sure smells incredibly wonderful. Yeah, over here, I've got a couple pepper plants that still need to be planted, but I put in pickling cucumbers, and then some of the burpless English cucumbers. Put in some snapdragons, some heliotrope. It did not like the heat yesterday at all, but I think it'll come back okay. And then this is an herb called red shiso. Over here, the spinach is going wild, and all of this lettuce. And then look how much the kohlrabi's grown in a week. A lot of these didn't even have bulbs on them last week. So the chart is going crazy, and I pick this about twice a week at least to give the birds something. Broccoli. I would say the broccoli maybe even tripled in size this week. And the peas have grown several inches. And green onions over here are doing really nicely too. You can see on the snaps the leaves did not like the weather yesterday. I did put a line of garlic along this bed too, just because I had some left. These were garlic stars. These are not, I did not plant garlic last year. Oh, that's going to seed. I did not plant garlic last year, so in the winter, because I'd sprained both my ankles, remember? And so I got some starts. So over here is Brussels sprouts. I planted 6 Brussels sprouts, and then there's a lot more kohlrabi and some cauliflower. I know I always say that I'm not going to plant cauliflower, and then I always give in and do it anyway. Unless I'm so bad at cauliflower. I don't know. And that's some more broccoli in the front. And then the pepper plants that I picked up, I got one bell, it's North Star, because that did real well last year. And then some early jalapeno and a super cayenne, because I do like making my own cayenne powder. Berries are coming along. There's a whole lot more berries coming. Still gonna be a couple weeks, and I've really got to get some water on these too. Alright, so over here, the kale is finally starting to grow. I need to get more water on this garden. I put in 2 tomato plants, a mortgage lifter, which is a regular round tomato, and then a San Marzano tomato, which is a Roma. And the beets are starting to get some sun now that I pulled out the kale that had gone to seed. I did take out some of the carrots. I may end up just taking out all of the carrots because they're taking up valuable garden space and they're really not sizing up. I think the overwintering it didn't work as well as I wanted it to. Some of the herbs over here have taken on a real burst of growth, and others aren't doing much of anything. Got to get this grass roots out of here. Oh, and a dandelion. Come on. Echinacea really took off this week. Probably 8 inches, and so did the calendula. You can see it's much, much bigger. And the hyssop over here was also transplanted, and it's not doing as good as the hyssop that's clear over there that I transplanted. Maybe it's being shaded a little bit. I don't know. So over here I've got some spearmint and some peppermint planted. I would actually like to put them in separate pots, but I need to find a pot that's as big as this one, and I know we have one kicking around here. And then I'll separate them, but I needed to get them out of their little 4-inch pots because they weren't doing too good in there. Okay, and there's herbs on this side. And the sorrel. I'm thinking I might just take out this big sorrel. We've got the one over there now, and I'd like to put basil in that corner probably. Either that or I'll put somewhere the carrots are. I don't know. But this has gotten so big and it's taking up so much space. And I know it's a wonderful prolific plant and it's 3 years old, but I think I'm just done with it, really. Especially when, you know, that one over there is still going strong. And the rest of the berries here are doing pretty good. So that's really it for the garden this week. Oh, and for those who have been asking, I'm doing pretty good after the laser eye surgery. It's kind of exhausting. My eyes are having to learn to focus around the big blob, and it's kind of exhausting. And I don't know. It's weird. Doctor says it could clear up in 3 to 6 months, but I might always have it, and I certainly hope not. So prayers for it to break up and go away would be greatly appreciated. I don't want to have this in my line of vision for the rest of my life. And I really don't want to have a more invasive eye surgery that might make it go away and might not. So, yeah, that would be appreciated. All right, talk to you next week.